Now, I would highly recommend that anybody that does environmental activism take this class, Democracy School. I live on donations and grants, and I do public service work full time. I have about $500 of expenses that I can't pay this month. So I really need your help, friends. If you appreciate my work, if you appreciated this video, if you appreciate the research, the deep research that I do, you appreciate these videos that I do and have done, and here's what I've done with my life for the past 10 years. Bill Huston's fracking resume. Just go look that up. You're going to see I've done a lot of stuff, including some local work. I mean, I did a lot of state level work, but I did a lot of local work, including, we fought that Speedies permit in Endicott for about 4 years. So Google Bill Huston's fracking resume, and if you can, tinyurl.com/donate to Bill Huston. Donations are appreciated in any amount. Take this class, Democracy School. The people that put it on is called CELDF, CELDF, the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, and the head guy there is Tom Lindsay. And this program was developed by Tom Lindsay and this fellow Richard Grossman of POCLAD, the Program on Corporations, Law, and Democracy. Richard Grossman died a few years ago. He was a really great man. I met him and I was friends with him, and he was a terrific guy. And these two were my teachers in Democracy School. I was very lucky to have both of these teachers as in the class with both of these guys. This class, Democracy School, will give you a shocking view of American government, how American government works. It's a very unique, shocking view, and you will, if you're like me, you're going to be very surprised at how bad our system of environmental regulation truly is, and how it's designed and rigged against us. So I highly recommend call CELDF and get Democracy School training. It's not a quick solution. There are some solutions. It's mostly very bad news. There are solutions in Democracy School, but it's a 10 to 15 year to 20 year program. It takes a long time to implement it. It's not something you can easily accomplish in your local community, but in my opinion, it's essential training. Get this training, friends. Now, and by the way, one of the ultimate lessons of Democracy School is that these permit procedures are rigged, okay? But if it's all we got right now, we kind of have to engage in this rigged system unless we're doing nonviolent direct action. We're shutting down the facility with our bodies, which is possible. I mean, it might come to that. But I want to show you one of the ways that, the system is rigged against us, and that is with these unlisted actions, these type 2 actions, which are very similar. They both result in a negative declaration, and then the whole environmental review just stops, and there's no public notice required for either a type 2 seeker action or an unlisted action. And you can study this. I'll make these slides available. You can kind of study this, but the point is that these classify the action. That's kind of arbitrary and capricious. There's really not good guidelines. It's all kind of just somebody makes a decision. Oh, this is an unlisted action. Oh, this is a type 2 action. There's not a good, hard scientific way of determining what is an unlisted action, what's a type 2 action, what's a type 1 action where you actually do get a full environmental review. Not a hard scientific thing. It's a very fuzzy thing. It's political. There's political decisions in here. It's kind of arbitrary. So we want to get an environmental impact statement. That's what this bubble right here is. EIS. That's what we want. So I'm trying to understand why the DEC is ineffective. All I know is that they are. That's what I can see with my eyes. That's what I would tell my friend Mickey. Mickey would say, what's the observable? Well, the observable is that the DEC doesn't seem to be protecting the environment. That's what I see with my eyes. And public safety seems to be their charter. I see that with my eyes too. Public safety, protecting the environment. And one of the problems is, we talked about this a little bit before, that the people in the DEC, these regulators, they're not scary. They're not ferocious. They're not assertive. They're nice. They're cute. They're cuddly. They're people you'd invite to the cuddle party. That's what I like to say. And why is it that way? Well, one hand, they could be lazy. They could be incompetent. Part of that is probably true. Some of them might be afraid, and they're afraid of industry retaliation, or they're afraid of losing their pension, maybe. Some of them are corrupt. Some of them are on the take. They're taking money. Industry captured. I'm sure that's the case. Not all of them. Probably not many, but there are some. And some are just asleep. Some just don't care. And my friend Mark calls them state workers. He's like, they're state workers. That's his way of saying, that it's just a job to them. They show up. They're barely awake. They kind of shuffle around. They do their paperwork. They make sure the forms are filled out right, and then they go home. They're state workers. Now, I want to keep open that there are good people that do work for the DEC, and I'm trying to figure out how to reach those people and turn them either into whistleblowers or to turn them into allies somehow, to get them to act in ways, bold ways, to protect us, to protect the people. And I'm thinking maybe they don't see the rot. There's this regulatory rot that happens so slowly that there's these absurdities that exist today, and I see the absurdity, but they don't, and they're in the middle of it. And it's just because I think that it happens so slowly, they didn't see it. They can't see the rot. Or maybe it's because they do care, but they feel impotent. They feel like they don't have the statutory power. They don't know how to work within the existing legal framework. They're just following the law, or they're following orders. So there's a lot of reasons why the DEC isn't effective. But we have to help them. Okay, what's the best case scenario that we can imagine in this situation? Well, the best case scenario is that there are good people working in these organizations, and we can reach them, and we can help them, and we can help them act, or we can take some of these people that are maybe on the fence and turn them around to become allies for us, with us. So we have to help these people. We have to help Donald Lupardo see what this thing really is. We have to help Jason Garner. We have to help John Bertoni, although John's on the way out. The other people on the Endicott town, Village Board, we have to help them understand this and help them make the right decisions. That's what I see what my role is. So we don't want to curse these people with a judgment. I'm all about metaphysics. Words are creative. I understand that. We paint pictures with our words. We create reality with our words. So we have to be, it's like you see somebody playing with matches. You're like, hey, put those down. You could hurt somebody. Like you do that with words. You see somebody, talking, and it's like, hey, be careful with those. You're playing with the words. Be careful with the words that you say, because words are extremely powerful. I'm just saying my eyes have seen these people falling over in the past, and I've seen how that they are ineffective at stopping industrial pollution, and my mind wants to speculate why. And that's when we get into judgments, and that's what we have to be careful not to do, because judgments are like curses. So we have, just to take an example, we have this guy, DEC guy, Reggie Parker, wonderful guy, nice guy, somebody you want to invite to the cuddle party. He's not a scary guy. He thinks he's following the rules and following the regulations, but the net result is that he screws Endicott. Because he was involved. This is a single frame from a video. This is one of Vera's video about the stink trucks, the leachate permit modification. And there he is. And, we had Sandra Lisvos, and we had Tim DeGuglio, Mary Jane Peachy, and they're just cuddle party people. They're just nice, and they're soft, and they're just They're not scary. Now, the DEC does have police, and, these guys kind of look a little bit scary. They carry handcuffs and guns, and, they're nice guys. Generally, they smile and everything, but they're kind of intimidating, which is what you want with environmental police. So I just want to know, how come we can't get these guys involved with, they show up to public hearings to try to keep the peace, and they act like game wardens. But how many times do these guys go and shut down some polluting, hazardous facility, some toxic environmental facility? That's where I want to see the DEC police. I want to see them doing enforcement actions. And so there's Reggie. Reggie doesn't see the rot. And we figured this all out when we were fighting the stink trucks. There's Mark, and there's one of the broken down stink trucks up there. He broke down. And this was kind of a viral, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 views. This was pretty good distribution for this one. Who put the stink in my drink? Mark did a great job. I mean, we put this video together. It was a joint effort, and Mark had a lot of influence and input into it. And I just love this, who put the stink in my drink? That is a classic Mark phrase. So I think this kind of clever stuff is what really, contributes. I mean, you have to do good sound and good light. You got to do a good, technical production, but sometimes you get lucky and you do something clever with the language. And I think that makes it catchy. And Mark is just like an ordinary guy that's just been pushed too far. So I think Mark is really appealing as just kind of like just this regular guy. There's the stink trucks. That's where we first met Reggie Parker. Reggie's actually involved in this one too. Reggie's actually an air pollution guy. I don't know how he got involved in the stink trucks. I guess there is air pollution involved because we complained when we were smelling the stink coming out of the place. But there's Reggie. Now what's funny is, look at the body language. Reggie came up, and this was at the very final, the public hearing, and he's up there advocating for the permit. But he looks, he's reading down like this. He doesn't even really look up. He's got this body language like, and I think he kind of looks like, did you ever see the dog videos? It's like, who made this mess? Did you make this mess? And you know how the dogs look really guilty, or the one dog looks really guilty? That kind of like, doesn't Reggie look like that? Doesn't he look like, do you see the similarity there between, I don't know, maybe you don't. Does he have that same look? That guilty, like, did you make this mess? Reggie, did you allow them to dump, 10,000 tons or 10,000 pounds of solvents into the Susquehanna River? Yeah. Okay. Reggie? Yeah. Reggie, did you permit them did you give them a permit to dump formaldehyde into the air in Endicott, and heavy metals and dioxin and sulfuric acid and formaldehyde into the air in Endicott, Reggie? Did you write that permit, Reggie? Yeah. Like, yeah. So they advocate for the permit. And he gets up there with a straight face and he reads what SPEEDIES stands for: State Pollution Discharge Elimination System.
Good evening. My name is Reggie Parker, and I'm the Regional Engineer for the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Region 7 Office. Today, DEC is conducting a legislative hearing to receive comments on a draft State Pollution Discharge Elimination System, or SPEEDIES, permit for the i3 Electronics Endicott facility.
It does the exact opposite. It doesn't eliminate pollution discharge. It's a license to pollute. It does the exact opposite. It's one of those PSYOP things. The law is a PSYOP, State Pollution Discharge Elimination System. It's BS. They don't eliminate pollution. They license pollution. That's what these permits are for. And the regulators, like I said, they don't see it. They can't see it. They have trouble seeing it. But even though Reggie, from his body language there, he sure looks like he's got a guilty conscience. He sure looks like he knows he's doing something wrong. But we got to give him the benefit of the doubt, I think. And then he also says with a straight face, he's reading all the tons of heavy metals, oils, greases, solvents, acids, and bases that they're going to be dumping into the river. And he says that the permit is protective of water quality. He says that with a straight face.
New York State DEC issues speedies permits statewide to regulate wastewater discharges from industrial and municipal facilities to assure compliance with state and federal water treatment technology and water quality standards, and to ensure the protection of receiving bodies of water.
That's why I think they don't see the rot. So, what the F, Reggie? What the F? You know, you people that work at the DEC, we want to believe in you, but we want to see protective action. We have to see action. So I just want to say, so Cuomo, there's a conflict of interest. We talked about this before. Stimulating business development and also protecting the environment work against each other. So, we, the citizens, we're fighting our own government. And all this shows that there are three branches of government. We got the executive branch, we have the legislative branch, we have the judicial branch. You know about the three branches of government, right? So environmental regulators, where do they go? It's not judicial branch, it's not legislative branch. So it seems like environmental regulators seem like an executive function. And oh yes, state agencies, it is an executive function, right? And environmental regulators have police powers. So here's a chart that shows police powers in the law. And we start up at the top with the New York Constitution. Everything flows out of that. You have the New York Town Law. The Town Law establishes both zoning. Zoning is police powers. You might not realize that. I didn't realize that. So my friend Chip Northrup kind of helped me understand. And the municipal police, of course, they're police powers. That makes sense. But environmental conservation law, that's also police powers. And if you read these things, you'll notice that in every one, the enabling statute, they all sound the same. Let's start with zoning. Article 16 of New York Town Law. It's about promoting the health, safety. This is zoning. Zoning is about promoting the health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. Okay, what are the police? Article 10 of New York Town Law. Safety, health, and well-being of persons or property. Health, safety, welfare, safety, health, well-being. They kind of sound the same. They have some similar language, right? Let's read environmental conservation law. To enhance the health, safety, and welfare of the people. So police powers, whenever you hear health, safety, and well-being, health, safety, and welfare of the community, that's police powers, okay? That's police powers. So the DEC does have police powers. We just need to get them to utilize it and stop acting as sponsors of the project and start helping the people. Here's Joseph Delugalinski's contact info, 607-753-3095. Call him and tell him that you oppose the Endicott battery incinerator permit. You don't want it here. And if you do want it, you need to have it slow down, and you need to distribute the information to the people on the internet. And we want to have an environmental impact statement and a public hearing and a full Type 1 seeker process with an environmental impact statement. And we want you to implement Commissioner Policy 29 on environmental justice and permitting. Because this is Endicott is an environmental justice community. Yes, it is. Socioeconomic and racial minorities, immigrants. Yes, it is. And we've talked about these others. Just contact Joseph Delugalinski. That's the most important thing. 607-753-3095. You can email him at dp.r7@dec.ny.gov. Call him, write him. Make sure he hears from you and tell him what you think of the Endicott battery incinerator in downtown Endicott. Let him know if you're happy with formaldehyde and heavy metals and dioxin, ammonia and sulfuric acid, and all kinds of nasty chemicals, including cancer-causing chemicals emitted into the air, microparticles that are neurotoxic. call them up and tell them you're not happy with the Endicott battery incinerator permit. So there we go. Thank you, friends, for watching. We got more coming up.
Guys! Guys! Look at us. Squabbling. Bickering.